All of us are used to popular mods which are constantly in the tops of various videos with loud titles like "You must install these mods in Minecraft." Yeah, it's certainly interesting and even useful, but what if we go down to the very depths and try to find out what mods inhabit there? What if we could find those precious gems? Trust me, you're gonna be shocked. When you reach late game in Minecraft, you have tons of resources. All the farms have been built, all the achievements have been obtained, and all that's left is to have fun and seek adventure. But it's better to show how rich you are in the game. To do this, you'll need to create money from paper, emeralds, netherite ingots, and purple dye. Why not? They have no function, they just exist. It's not clear why use purple dye and not green. I give this mod 1 star. On April 1st, 2024, Mojang released a joke update, Poisonous Potato, and apparently some players didn't have enough. In fact, there was a mod that adds golden potatoes and golden poisonous potatoes to the game. Golden potatoes are created like golden carrots and act on the same principle. They restore hunger and satiety. The golden poisonous potato does the same thing but also gives a second level regeneration effect. 5 poisonous potatoes out of 5. Most real gamers of course want to get themselves gaming devices and furniture. So there you have it. This mod completely covers these needs. From incredible hats, accessories, headphones, to neon signs, and of course gaming chairs. Yeah, caps, headphones, and glasses are in trouble, but the neon signs look pretty great, even though the YouTube logo is called Twitch logo for some reason. The gaming chairs in this mod look amazing. They're extremely well designed and you can ride on them. I give this mod 3 stars. The next mod impressed me right away by its unique icon, and I didn't even regret downloading it. It doesn't add much, but it's worth it. First of all, this mod adds spikes, or rather a block of swords, for each type of material. By placing it, the player or mob will receive damage. The more expensive the material, the more damage you'll deal. There's also a protected chest. Its peculiarity is that it's not just a chest, but a full-fledged vault. It has a little more space than a normal chest, and after closing it, no one without a pin code can open it. Oh, there's also a bed block in the mod. It doesn't work in the overworld, but in the nether it helps to mine netherite. How about tomatoes? This mod has them too, and they're just tomatoes, nothing special. I'm serious. I give this mod 4 stars. How about a new boss? It's been a long time since the game has had any new enemies to fear. How about chickens? The next mod tries to make everything in the best way. It adds 3 types of new chickens. The first one is a suspicious chicken. From the outside it looks like a normal chicken except for the red eyes. As soon as the player approaches it, it'll immediately strike a minor attack. Chicken Soldier looks a bit strange considering its build. It can jump up and land strikes, but they're easily dodged. Such a mob is dangerous. The last type of chicken is the boss. It's a giant chicken that shoots fireballs and has 375 hearts of life. Sometimes during the battle, it'll summon other chickens that'll attack the player. Toward the end of the fight, this boss will even set a large area around it on fire. It will not drop anything after its death. I give this mob 5 chicken eggs out of 5. I agree, tridents in Minecraft are pretty rare things. Mining a trident alone without the help of farms is not an easy task. In the Bedrock edition, everything is much easier. They're dropped from almost every round. One player found it so difficult to obtain a trident that he created a mod that adds a recipe for creating a trident. To create it, you'll need 2 ingots of iron, 1 iron block, a diamond, and a stick. Expected it to cost cheaper? I give this mod 1.5 stars. We all love new dimensions. We're waiting for the Minecraft developers to add a new dimension to the game. I think it'll be something incredible. The author of the next mod didn't wait and added a new dimension, Wasteland. Unfortunately, there's no description and explanation, but apparently this is the dimension in which the apocalypse occurred. There's nothing else except for the trees with falling leaves and the ground. From time to time, there are ruined villagers' houses. Among the peaceful animals, there are only radioactive pigs, but the summoning egg is called cow for some reason. Okay, all the water in this dimension is replaced by radioactive water. When going into it, the player gets damage and radiation effect. In the overworld, you can find a new structure, a house. However, it occurs very often. I would even say too much. In the creative menu, you can also find a bedrock sword. Its damage is 99,999 units. I give this mod 2.5 stars. I honestly don't understand why so many mods exist that add various recipes for creating items that cannot be created in the original game, like for example the creation of the Nether Star. The recipe uses 4 diamonds, 4 quartz, and 1 emerald. Are you serious? I think it's much easier to take this item from the creative menu than to install a mod for something like this. 1 star, the one you can't create. The next mod is called Neo Villagers. Don't get me wrong, it has nothing to do with the Matrix. There are only 2 things added in this mod: the Lumberjack Villager and the Saw. A Lumberjack is a full-fledged participant of village life. He certainly looks as strange as possible, most likely it's because of his glasses, but in general the Lumberjack's shirt is present, which means it's canon. In the trade list of this villager you can see everything that's related to wood. Any kind of wood, axes, and leaves. You can also buy wood from the player. The most important thing is a saw, a workstation for the Lumberjack and a new block with which you can create everything that uses wood. I really do not understand why such block was not added to the game. I give this mod 4.5 stars, half a point removed because of the weird Lumberjack skin. Many players agree that the pistons in Minecraft are very loud. Unfortunately, there is no parameter that specifically turns down the loudness of the pistons. But there are vanilla tweaks resource packs that can help with this. By the way, I use them. The author of the next mod decided to create a full-fledged mod for this. All you need is just to wax the piston, which you need to make quieter. This applies to both the regular and sticky piston. I give this mod 3 stars. Why not 5? There's a texture of honey drawn on the icon of the mod, and it's not the case in the game. And it's impossible to visually distinguish which piston has a lowered sound. Apparently, not all players like capes. Perhaps they even irritate someone. So they created a mod that completely removes capes from all players. Probably it's gonna be useful for someone, but not for me. I love capes. I even like capes from Optifine, but the mod gets 5 stars since it fulfills its purpose. Do you remember the moment when blocks stopped dropping from ores? It seemed to be a while ago, but in general, I got used to the fact that instead of blocks, I get their raw version. Especially with a pickaxe enchanted for fortune, it's very convenient. Apparently, not everyone is used to it because there is a mod that prohibits dropping raw ores, and usual block will be dropping instead. I give the mod 5 stars. Basically, there's nothing special, perhaps for someone it'll be useful. The next mod amused me only by its simplicity and stupidity. All it adds is the Sandman, a mob that walks around the world and holds a block of sand. He's not aggressive, you can't trade with him, and he just exists and does nothing. As the author says, he was inspired by his skin and decided to add it to the game. Upon death, he leaves a block of sand. The second thing in this mod is a sand shovel. It's created from 2 sticks and a block of sand. It has 1,000 uses. Its attack power is like a diamond sword, and the speed of mining blocks as if it had a level 5 efficiency enchantment. I give the mod 1 star just because I like the Sandman. What about the health kits in the game? They can be useful, but it's like we already have potions that serve the same function. Anyway, this mod will add 3 things. Adrenaline, small and large first aid kits. Adrenaline is kind of like you can eat it. It'll instantly give the player level 4 regeneration and level 2 speed, just for a few seconds. The small first aid kit gives level 2 regeneration for 3 seconds and has 3 uses, while the large first aid kit gives level 5 regeneration for 5 seconds and also has 3 uses. It's kinda cool, but adrenaline requires dragon's breath and health kits require a golden apple. It's easier to brew your own potion, but I give it 3 stars for effort. The next mod is quite simple and at the same time useful. It has very few downloads, but it has potential. It adds a talent tree. It's not very large, only 7 indicators: agility, endurance, luck, resistance, speed, strength, and life. I think it makes no sense to tell in detail which aspect is responsible for what. You can get points for running, sleeping, burning, sneaking, and being in lava. I agree, strange choice, but cool. I give this mod 3.5 stars. The next mod adds teleportation. Yeah, there are a lot of them, but this one caught my eye with its interesting concept. The thing is that the mod adds a special item to the game, a mirror. It can be created with 4 blocks of obsidian, 3 ingots of gold, a glass pane, and ender pearls. Its point is that this mirror can only teleport you to one place and not for free. Once the player sets the point and after pressing the teleportation key, the player will have 5 XP levels removed per teleportation. This way, I like the very concept of paying for teleportation. I give the mod 3 stars. The problem is that the interface is very strange. After the first setting of coordinates, there is still a field to enter the text, name, and point, and there's only one button. This needs to be fixed. This mod caught my eye right away only by its beautiful icon, and for some reason I immediately liked it. I thought that this is some very large-scale mod, but as it turned out, on the contrary, it adds 2 types of armor for your wolves. The first is the Holy Armor, and the second is the Raijin Armor. They don't have any superpowers, they just look nice on your wolves. I give this mod 3 stars. I really like the idea of this mod. The fact is that you and I do not think much when mining something in the world of Minecraft. Yeah, logically it's just a game, where of course you need to mine blocks. This mod adds the possibility of more reasonable mining of some blocks, especially flowers. If the player approaches any flower, sits down and right-click, the flower will not be ripped off completely, but only its top part. From the part that remains in the grass, a new flower will grow. The same thing works if you use shears. The buds that we plucked are also used for dyes, but they can also be planted in the ground to grow a new flower. Honestly, I don't understand why the following mod was created, but for some reason it exists. It adds miners to the game. It would seem great, they're gonna help us mine blocks, but it's not that simple. First, they have to be created. For this, you need a torch, 2 copper ingots, a stone pickaxe, and an iron ingot. This way, we get a summoning egg. After using this egg, a miner shows up, which breaks turtle eggs like a zombie and destroys blocks of dirt. It takes him an incredibly long time to do this. During that time, he needs to dig through 2 blocks. I can get to the bedrock. I mean, seriously, I don't see the point of this mod, as these miners don't even save blocks. This is some bullshit. It gets 0 stars. The mod that I'll show you looks very decent on paper. The author states that this mod adds new ways to use items. It's interesting. For example, with the help of amethyst and copper ingot, I'll get a throwing knife. Yeah, overall cool and might even come in handy. The next item is a barometer. We created from 2 ingots of gold and 2 ingots of copper, as well as redstone. It shows the Y coordinates. How about a fried egg? No, not a chicken egg, but a dragon egg. Why not? It's a cool item. The last item this mod adds is the coordinator. It's created from 4 ingots of copper, a redstone lamp, a compass, a barometer, an amethyst, and an observer. This item shows your coordinates. It's a cool mod, I give it 5 stars. When I first downloaded the following mod, from the description, I thought I could change the location of my character's camera, make it look like I was playing some RPG game like The Witcher. But what was my disappointment when I found out that I could just move the camera with the help of arrows instead of the mouse. Moreover, the camera doesn't move smoothly at all, but very jogged and as a little slowing down. 1 star for this mod. The next mod for me was a pleasant surprise, because its creator is Zig the Hedge. So in this mod, I decided to realize the creation of object in an unusual way, specifically right on the surface. For example, if you place a cobblestone and on top of it sketch another 8 blocks, you can create a furnace, or for example, you can roast ores directly in the lava, but it wastes the whole source. I think it's better to do it in the Nether. By throwing coal and blaze powder into the water source, you can create lava. Overall, I can give it a 4.5 stars. Okay, as you can see, not all mods that are at the very bottom are bad. There are some good ones, but often mods just add another ore, and from it you can create tools, weapons, and armor. This doesn't seem very exciting to me because there are so many mods like that. While you're waiting for the next video, I recommend watching these. They're also very interesting. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and click the notification bell. See you in the next videos.